So standing in a just a normal natural stance or with your feet in a nice wide comfortable position, but we're going to place that ball between the palms, put a little bit of pressure on, and start to draw some circles, circling in one direction. Pushing a little bit harder, and now flare your elbows out just a little bit further. Soften that up and then reverse your circles, go the other way. Pushing a little bit harder, flare your elbows. Nice, and then soften that position. And now we're gonna take palm facing up and we're gonna think teacup. So you might cup your hand around the ball just to kind of keep a slight handhold, but we wanna keep the ball facing up towards the ceiling. We're gonna go under the side of the body, rotate all the way up, around, and overhead, but keep that ball facing up towards the ceiling. So let your whole body move with you to help keep that ball facing up towards the sky. Yes, nice. Take one more time around. Little shoulder mobility work for us here. And then when you're ready, pass that ball over to the other hand, get a good handhold that works good for you. Keep that ball facing up, circle underneath, all the way around, up and overhead, and then back to it. Nice. Two more times around in this direction. Beautiful. And then as you come back around, now we're just going to pass the ball around. And then once you've got that little pass, we're going to pick one foot up. So find a little bit of balance. Firm up your center. Keep everything else going exactly as it is, and then turn your head to the right. One more pass around. And then bring your head back to center. Set that foot down. Come back to that pass, but let's switch directions. Go the other way. Nice. Once you've got that pass going, we're going to keep that pass going. Pick your other foot up. Once you've got your balance here, turn your head to the left. Beautiful. Bring your head back to center. Set your foot down. Set your ball down onto the ground, and then we're going to work right into the feet. So placing it underneath the ball mound of your foot, heel on the ground, put a little pressure on, and then just start to swish your foot side to side. Awesome. And then bring it into the middle of the foot. So underneath that center of your foot, heel still on the ground, swish your foot side to side. Nice. And then move it on up to the heel. So ball of the foot on the ground, heel on the ball, push in as much pressure as you can stand, and then swish your foot a little side to side. One more little swish side to side, and then we're going to take it length of the foot. So you're going to just start with a soft roll, working from heel to toe, moving down the toe line. So big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe. Go at a pace that works good for you. And while you're working there, we're going to talk about balls for a second. So we use tennis balls because it's something that easily everybody may have had access to in their homes. But if you're ever looking for a little bit more oomph, if you're ever at like a sporting goods store, you can always get a lacrosse ball. They have just a little bit more grip to them, and they're a little bit more solid. But you can also find self-myofascial release balls online. So you can buy a kit, and they sell them in different sizes and all that kind of stuff, but they're just a little bit more grippy, so that they don't slip out from underneath you. The tennis balls can get a little slippy sometimes. All right, now take a little body weight into it as well. So as you move, let your body weight move with you. Nice. One more time through the bottom of the foot. And then when you're ready, we're going to switch to the other foot. So leave that ball on the ground, pass it over to the other side. Underneath the ball toe mound of the foot, heel on the ground, swish your foot side to side. Awesome. One more little swish side to side, and then moving on up to the center of your foot, heel on the ground. Put as much pressure on as you like and swish it side to side. Great. And then when you're ready, ball of the foot on the ground, heel on the ball, put as much pressure on as you like, swish it side to side. Awesome. And then when you're ready, take it into that long roll, nice and soft. So most of the body weight is on your standing leg. Awesome. And then when you're ready, add a little bit of body weight to it. Lean in just as much as you like. Beautiful. One more roll through the bottom of the foot. And then when you're ready, we're going to come down into a tabletop position. So come down onto all fours in any way that works good for you. And then we're going to place that ball right behind the back of the thigh. So in between the thigh and the calf. So we're going to get it hugged in there and then just start to draw your butt back toward your heels just a little bit and then bring it up. We want to keep that ball trapped, but we want to just come forward and lift off of it. Pull your butt back, sink in a little bit. Come forward, lift off just enough so that you still keep the ball trapped. Nice. Pull your butt back and then come forward. And then this time you're going to set back onto it in a way that works good for you. So come back and sit and then settle in just as much as you can stand. Soften into your breath. One more breath. And then when you're ready, come up and we're going to pass that ball right to the other side. So underneath the back of the left thigh, in between the thigh and the calf, draw your butt back towards your heel. And then come right back up, just to a point that you can release just a little bit. Pull your butt back towards your heel. And then come right back up. One more time, just like that. Pull your butt back towards your heel. And then come right back up. And then when you're ready, you're going to set back into it. So you're going to draw your butt back towards your heel, settle back as far as you can control. Make sure you're breathing comfortably here. Awesome. When you're ready, lift off, grab hold of that ball. And now we are going to set our butt back towards our heel just so that most of our body weight's back towards the heels. Place the ball on the ground and we're going to work right forearm. So we're going to place the right forearm, palm facing down, and then you're going to let your left hand guide or just kind of put a gentle pressure on top. So we're going to just roll across the ball. You might choose a side angle or you might choose a forward and back. That just depends on which way is better controlled to you, but we just want to work through that muscle tissue. Awesome. One more time through. And then we're going to come to center, but flip your hand. So now palm is going to face up towards the ceiling. We're going to find that middle thick part of the forearm, settle it onto the ball, and then let your left hand trap the forearm onto the ball, which means you also could bring your body weight forward a little bit if that feels good. But once you've got a trap that feels good, make a little fist with your right hand, roll your fist in circles, go in one direction. Roll your fist in circles, go the other way. Great. And then release your fist and then just work through the top of the arm, just rolling in a direction that works good for you. Beautiful. One more roll in and out, and then we're going to take it right over to the other side. So underneath the left forearm, right hand on top to just help control. And then we're just gliding in and out, whatever direction works the best for you. Cool. One more in and out. And then when you're ready, find that center point, flip, palm facing up. Right hand's going to trap the forearm, make a fist, roll your fist in one direction. Roll your fist the other way. Beautiful. Release your fist and then roll in and out. Nice. One more roll in and out. And then we're going to take it down onto our belly. So grab your ball, lift your butt away from your heels, come down onto your belly in a way that works good for you. We're going to go with a bit of a Sphinx position today. So we're going to take our ball and we're going to place it. So locate that front hip bone, place it about 2 inches in, so into that soft tissue, right in onto the inside of that hip bone. And then just for a second, soften your belly, make sure it feels like it's in that groove, so it's in the soft tissue and not just like poking onto that bony hip protrusion. Make sure you've got it in a nice, good position. And then once you feel like you're there, prop yourself up onto elbows and forearms. So elbows in line with the shoulders, hands in a parallel position. Hug your shoulders towards each other, so get a little squeeze or just like a gentle back bend, if you like to think of it that way. Reach up through the crown of your head and then see if you can just feel that ball in that soft tissue of the belly. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. See if you can relax the abdominal muscles just a little bit. Awesome. Now we're going to keep this Sphinx-like position with the upper body, but we're going to bend the right knee and then see how it feels to swish the heel just a little bit side to side. So not a big range of motion, but just seeing if you can feel in underneath the belly, feel that ball massaging that psoas muscle. One more little swish of the heel side to side, and then we're going to take it into a couple little heel pumps. So you're just going to lower the toe down and lift it back up and then see how that feels. Beautiful. One more pump of that heel. And then we're going to let the toe lower down. Keep the ball exactly where it is. Walk your elbows out nice and wide. So think crocodile position with the arms, elbows wide. Let your forehead rest on the backs of your hands and take 3 nice deep breaths, trying to encourage as much softness in your abdomen as you can stand. When you feel ready, lift your head away from your hands, lift off so that we can move that ball out from underneath that hip point, and then we're going to take it over to the other side. So we're going to find that, locate the left bony hip points, walking in about 2 inches. So it's in that soft tissue of the abdomen. Once you've got it there, just take a second, soften around it, make sure it feels like it's in the right position, and then bring it back into that Sphinx shape. So elbows in line with the forearms, hands in that parallel position. Hug the shoulder blades in towards each other, squeezing between the shoulder blades, reaching up through the top of your head. Beautiful. Once you feel like you're there, bend that left knee, swish your heel just a little bit side to side, so it's not a big range of motion. Beautiful. One more swish side to side, and then take it into up and down. So toe touches down to the ground and draws back up. Beautiful. One more up and down. And then the next time the toe touches down to the ground, back to that crocodile with the arms. So elbows out nice and wide, stack your hands, let your forehead rest, and then encourage as much softness in your abdomen as you can stand. One more breath. Awesome. And then when you're ready, roll off just a little bit so you can grab that ball. We're going to come back over to the right, but we're going to keep this belly down position. But now we're going to think where your front pocket would be. So get an idea of where the opening of your front pocket would be. And we're going to place the ball where the front pocket would be. Once you've got the ball where the front pocket would be, you're going to prop yourself up onto your elbows and forearms. And now we're going to rock a little bit side to side. So we're going to move around on that ball in a way that feels good to you. You might find that bony hip protrusion is there. So just keep light or keep a little bit lifted off of that position so you're not injuring yourself, but roll around in a way that feels good, just finding those nice little gentle tender places. So there's not a lot of thick like muscle texture here, and we might not have a lot of fatty tissue to help cushion. So we want to make sure we use our elbows and forearms to just kind of help support so we're not putting too much body weight on. Beautiful. One more little rock there. And then we're going to lift off and then move on so that we can roll onto the side. So you want to lift off just so that you can roll over onto your right side. And then you're just going to settle down. So you're going to drop that right elbow down, soften over the ball. So it's on the side of the glutes, but a little bit high, like up to that hip ridge. And then if you've got it in that nice little groove of muscle tissue, take 3 nice deep breaths. Cool. Now, if it feels good, take a little gentle rock side to side just to kind of soothe it out. But if it felt really tender, you might choose to just lift off at this point. But if it feels good, one more little rock side to side. And then when you're ready, you're going to roll over onto your belly, pick that ball up, and we're taking it to the other side. So first, we're going to find that left front pocket area. So locate that where that front pocket area would be, settle onto it, take a second. Nice. And then using your elbows and forearms to support the weight. If it feels good, just a little bit of a rock side to side. Beautiful. One more little rock side to side, and then we're going to move over onto that side. So you might choose to lift up and off or just move onto it in a way that works good for you. But we're going to locate where the side front pocket would be and then over to the side. So once you've got that position, you're going to soften over it. So you're just going to lay down onto your side. Let the muscle tissue soften to the best of your ability. Take 3 nice big breaths here. Now, for some of us, this might be a really tender place, so you might choose to just either just stick with your breath or come off right away. But if it feels good and you like the sensation, take it into a little gentle rock forward and back. Awesome. One more forward and back, and then when you're ready, rolling back onto your center, pick that ball up. We're going to move right down into the quadricep muscle. So we're going to take that ball underneath the right thigh, and we're going to find that center. So think middle of the thigh, middle of the thigh. So middle up and down, middle side to side. Once you feel like you've found that middle position, take a couple of bends and straightens of your knee. Awesome. One more bend and straighten of that knee. And then we're going to curl both sets of toes under. Prop yourself up. So think about like a planking position. So think about firming up your center. And then picking the knees up, we're just going to roll up and down. But elbows and forearms and toes are going to help support. So we're not putting too much body weight on. Keep your back nice and firm so you don't collapse into the low back. Nice. And then you might choose a little bit of side to side motion as well, just depending on what feels good to you. Lovely. One more up and down. And then when you're ready, release off of that ball. We're going to take it right over to the other side. So middle of the thigh, sink middle up and down, middle side to side. So find that middle part of the thigh. Take a second to find it. And then once you feel like you're there, a couple of bends and straightens of the left leg. Beautiful. One more up and down. And then toes on the ground, curl both sets of toes under, firm up your center, broaden your shoulders, and then roll yourself up and down on that ball to a depth that works good for you. Lovely. One more up and down. And then when you're ready, release yourself all the way up into a tabletop position. Before we find our way down onto the ground, we're just going to stretch the back and the shoulders a little bit. So knees in line with the hips, hands out nice and long in front of you. Drop your chest and your forehead down and take 3 nice big breaths. Cool. And then when you're ready, nice and easy, lift yourself on up. We're going to spin it around so legs are out in front of us and work right into the right glute. So we're going to take that ball, place it under your right side glutes, and then use your hands and your feet to help support. And we're just going to start to roll around. So you're going to move in any direction that works good for you. If you find any super tender or hot spots, stay off of them, work alongside of them, work in that area just a little bit, and then move on to a new place. Lovely. And then see if you can find that center of your glutes. Settle your butt down, and then see if you can just take a couple of little lifts and lowers of the right leg. Nice. One more up and down. And then we're going to right away switch over to the other side. So lift your butt up, pass that ball over to the other side. So underneath the left glutes, and then arms and legs are going to do most of the heavy lifting for us here. So you're going to circle around on that ball, but your arms and your legs are helping support so you're not putting too much body weight on. Cool. And then when you're ready, find that center of your bum, settle on, and then take a couple of lifts and lowers of that left knee. Nice. And then when you're ready, release off that ball. And now we're going to come down all the way onto our back. So lower yourself down. We're going to take it into that low back area, but we're going to just make sure we do it with a bit of control. So lift your butt up, place that ball so that it's right around that SI joint. So think about where that triangle is to the tailbone, off to the right. Find that little bit of muscle tissue that's coming right along the spine, and then soften over the ball. Take a moment to just make sure you have a good soft position, and we're going to just arms anchored on the ground, pick your right knee up. Doesn't matter how high it goes. Draw a couple of circles with the right knee, go in one direction. Draw a couple of circles, go the other way. Awesome. And then see how it feels. Can you hug your right knee in towards your chest? Doesn't matter how far it goes. So just go to a point that feels like a nice sensation to you, and you can still breathe pretty comfortably here. Take one more breath. Cool. And then release that foot down, lift up, and we're just going to pass the ball over to the other side. So we're still staying in that low position right along the spine. So we're in the muscle tissue, not on the bone. Once you feel like you've got it in place, settle down for a second, take a breath. Nice. And then when you're ready, pick that left knee up, draw a couple of circles, go in one direction. Draw a couple of circles, go the other way. Beautiful. And then see how it feels to pull the left knee towards the chest. Doesn't matter how far it goes, just to make sure that you're breathing comfortably. Awesome. And then when you're ready, release that foot down, lift up. And now we're going to move, think middle back. So we're going to move up quite a bit. We're going to move up to that middle part of the back. So think about where the back of your ribs are, or that bottom edge of the back of your ribs. But now we're going to stay along the right side of the spine. So we're going to stay in the muscle tissue that runs along the spine, right about where the rib cage is. So we're in that thoracic spine area. Once you feel like you've got the ball in a good position, settle your butt down. So it's going to create a little bit of an arch in the back. Take 3 nice big breaths. See if you can find that focus of breath in the rib cage. So rather than puffing the belly up with the breath, think about spreading the ribs out with your breath. One more breath. And then we're going to take our feet, walk them out so that they're about shoulder width distance apart. So just a slightly wider configuration with the knees, and then drop your knees slightly over to the right and slightly over to the left. So think windshield wipers with the knees, but really a small, gentle range of motion. Really, we're focusing on paying attention to the ball underneath the rib cage. One more swish of the knees side to side. And then as your knees come back to center, you're going to push into your feet, lift up, and we're moving that ball right over to the other side. So you can just pass it across or pass it over hand to hand, whatever gets you there. And then once you feel like you're in a good position, lower your butt down, find that arch in the back, readjust your feet as needed, come back to your breaths. Think about finding the breath in the rib cage. So rather than a puff of the belly, think front to back, side to side with your ribs. Nice. And then when you're ready, walk your feet out just a little bit wider, and then take those light windshield wipers. So knees drop side to side, but not a big giant range of motion. We just want to tune in and feel that massaging action of the ball right near the rib cage. Awesome. One more drop of the knees side to side, and then walk your feet back in, push into your feet, lift your hips up so you can remove the ball. And now we're going to move right on up to underneath the shoulder blade. So place the ball underneath the right shoulder blade. So in the groove of the shoulder blade. So it's in the muscles that run alongside the spine, not on the bones of the shoulder blade and not on the bones of the spine. So once you feel like you've found that groove, settle your back down, take a second, make sure everything feels like it's in a good position. And then with a soft bent elbow, we're just going to draw some circles like you're drawing circles with your elbow on the ceiling. Draw circles in one direction. Draw circles the other way. Cool. And now we're going to take the hands behind the head. So we're going to support the back of the head, push into the feet, and then see if you can just lift the hips up, put a little bit of body weight into the ball, soften over it, let your shoulder heads drop down, but your head is supported. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Release your butt down, and then we're going to take 3 curls of the head. So we're just going to lift the head and the shoulders up, lower over the ball, lift the head and shoulders up, lower over the ball. Do that one more time. Lift the head and shoulders up, lower over the ball, and then release your hands, release the ball, and we're taking that all to the other side. So we're just going to pass the ball across. So it's now in the groove of the left shoulder blade. Try to get it in that same little groove if you can. Take a second, settle into it, make sure everything feels good. And then that bent elbow position, we're going to take that left elbow, draw it in circles, go in one direction. Take that elbow, draw it in circles, go the other way. Awesome. And then hands behind the head, support the head first, soften your shoulders, and then lift your butt up just a little bit. So we're going to let a little body weight settle onto the ball. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Release your butt back down to the ground, and then 3 little crunches here. Lifting up and lowering down, support the head. Lift up and lower it down. Do that one more time. Lift up, lower it down, and then release that ball out from underneath the shoulders. Just place the ball wherever feels good, alongside you, anywhere that feels good. And then just take a second. Let both shoulders relax into the floor. Let your arms be in anatomical position. Give everything a second. Just take 3 nice deep breaths here. Fill the rib cage up. Inhale, think front to back, side to side with the ribs. Exhale, let the ribs draw in towards each other. 2 more breaths here. Awesome. And then when you're ready, take your ball with you. We're going to come all the way up into a seated position. So crisscross applesauce, if that's a nice way to sit, or any other seat that works good for you. But what we want is just access to the face and the chin. So if you're wearing glasses, I'll recommend that you just take them off, put them somewhere safe, placing the ball into the palm of your hand. We're going to find chin line to the ear, and then we're either going to move the ball or move your head. So you might choose whichever version works good for you, but we're just massaging up towards the ear and then down towards the chin. Cool. Now the next time you come up towards the ear, so where that jaw meets the ear, find that little groove, place the ball into that little groove, and then draw little micro circles. Go in one direction. And then draw those circles, go the other way. Great. And now we're going to move behind the ear. So think about that little dip right behind the ear. Place your ball there, gentle pressure. You'll put a little bit of gentle pressure on, draw some circles in one direction. Draw some circles the other way. And then we're going to roll down. So think rolling down that line and then bring it back up with a gentler pressure. Push in, roll down, lighten up, bring it back up. One more time like that. Push in, press down, lighten up to come up. And now we're going to take it to the other side. So pass that ball over and then back to that chin to ear. And I'm going to be light on this side just so that I don't smash into my microphone. So you might choose to move your head or you might choose to move your palm. That's just totally up to you. Awesome. And then the next time you come to where the jaw meets the ear, a little gentle pressure, circle in one direction. And I just switch sides just so that I don't mess with my microphone. Take your circles, draw them the other way. And then back behind the ear. So we'll lift off, find that little space behind the ear, pressure on to push down, lighten up to bring it back up. Pressure on and push down, lighten up and bring it back up. Pressure on, push down, lighten up to come back up. And now we're going to take that ball right in that center space. So think of that space right between the eyebrows, put a little bit of gentle pressure on, circle in one direction. Circle the other way. Beautiful. And then bring that ball back between the palms. If you took your glasses off and you like to have them on, put them back on for a second. And then we're going to just come back to where we started. So this, those nice gentle circles go in one direction. Nice gentle circles go the other way. Great. And then if you like, add that little bit of pressure, flare your elbows out, slow it down, push in a little bit firmer into the ball. Keep that pressure on, reverse directions, go the other way. Awesome. And then when you're ready, release. Give your fingers a little wiggle, give everything a little shimmy shake. You guys are amazing. Awesome work today. Be sure to drink plenty of water after doing all of that work.